I love that. I mean, you know, you're talking my language with geometry. You know, the geometry of language. That's what you could call it, because
Yeah.
geometry is like the eschaton. It's like the ever elusive, you know, proto form. That well, actually, let me reverse that. It's not the proto form. It's like the end of the line. It's like the when language is perfected, that means that the transmission had zero latency. The transmission had all signal, no noise, right? It got through, and the intent along with the actual knowledge base was fully communicated. And when you look at really good architecture, which is, you know, an amalgamation of all the geometry and also the material science to hold that geometry, a good somebody who's eloquent is so powerful because of the geometry of the words that they're using. It's like the difference between looking at a cathedral relative to looking at a Bauhaus, you know, tenement structure. Like
Hmm.
it's the total difference.
Well, and
The
to your point,
it's,
most of the variety of vocabulary is ornamental. When you understand the elements of alphabets and language like this, there's actually a lot fewer words than you would think. There's a bunch of different
Mhm.
versions of the same word in a way, or the same concept, or very similar, just slightly different, like, green and teal and blue green and turquoise. And, it's kind of like that with a lot of language too. And so once you have those elements, eloquence comes into being because of the fact that you're able to ornament your speech without becoming incomprehensible or word salad. And that's the difference too
Yeah.
between like the traditions versus now, like you just laid out with architecture. I love going into like an old theater or something where they
Mhm.
have hexagonal beehive pattern and like gold filament and intricacy, right? Like that's there's a certain level of, I guess, ornamentalism in our world that has been lost. And when people even now try to redo it because they've lost the understanding, or they've lost like the innate sense of beauty and harmony and proportion that was taught or almost naturally comprehended by people of the past. Now when people try to get super ornamental, a lot of what comes out is just like noise and busy and,
Mhm.
jarring, right? And I think
Yeah, yeah,
that,
because
you get what I'm
rhetoric has
saying?
been I totally get what you're saying, because rhetoric, I love reading John Taylor Gatto's work because he was very big in showing that the northern industrialists, the capitalists of the northern aspect of the United States, they would get lambasted in Congress by the southern genteel congressmen, because all the southern genteel congressmen knew how to use rhetoric. They knew how to use less words in a more eloquent way, but frame things in a way that always got their point across. And if they ever needed to filibust, a Southern genteel congressman could talk 8 hours in a row and never lose the crowd. In the northern states, they didn't have that skill set. So
So they
he was
had to
very big.
create the perception that that accent was dumb.
Exactly. And I saw the same thing in Europe. Like I was
Even
brought
though
up
it
that
sounds
Polish
way
people
better. The
were
southern accent sounds beautiful compared to northern
that
accents.
that's why my Dachshund, she literally from even though she's Costa Rican, the day we got her, she's our Southern belle. But like I saw this in Europe too, is like everybody said the Polish when I was growing up, it was like, oh, how many Poles does it take to screw in a light bulb? They were always insulting the intelligence of the Polish people. But when I was in Europe, they were like the most industrious people. Like they were the people that got everything done. So they always like the way the system works is how we started this whole thing out. There's inversions to kind of hide the truth, yada yada. Um, I have
Well,
you read any of John Taylor Gatto?
the productive class of people are not the ones that usually do the attacking and the tearing down. They're just like, oh,
Right,
you're doing
that's true.
stuff I don't like. I'm just going to ignore you and build something that I do like. So
Exactly.
it's something
Yeah,
to be
that's so
aware
true.
of. And I'm familiar with him. He's an education reform guy, right?
Yeah, but he was coming at it from like a like such a cool way, because he was sort of like a day walker, because he was, you know, went to Jesuit school, so he was very educated in that way.
Well, there's been a lot of
But he
beneficent
also,
Jesuits in his history.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But now I'm saying that now to kind of like not allow sort of the subtext of the, like, you know, Jesuit or Jew energy, like that whole energy right now is kind of loaded. Like if you bring up somebody was Jesuit educated, like there's almost like a negative context with that. I kind of want to de amplify that.
I want to
So
completely separate
it,
from conspiracy culture altogether at this point. But that's me. Go ahead.
yeah, yeah. It just I'm into productivity culture. Like that's my culture. I'm like, does it work or does it not work? But John Taylor Gatto, his whole thing was awesome because he had enough of the classical education, especially in the trivium and the quadrivium, to actually figure things out for himself. And he said that what he saw, and what was occurring was the critical thinking aspect was absolutely was what was under attack by the northern capitalists, in that they brought in the Prussian school system, the operant conditioning aspect. And so when he became fully aware of that, he was in the system. So he ran experiments. Anybody who runs experiments is a man after my own heart. So he started doing the opposite of operant conditioning, because he didn't know if it was right or wrong. He was just reading somebody else's words. So when he went to this education model of empowering and giving all the information and giving choices and all the rest of it, and seeing how well his schools flourished, it was like the movie Trading Places, you know, with Dan Aykroyd and Eddie Murphy. Like, you give Eddie Murphy now everything that Dan Aykroyd had, and let's see how he does. And he did great. And he saw that with these inner city kids. And so it was so cool to see that. Like, it's just like so much of how he just saw how the mechanism of making people always reactionary. He emblazoned in my mind this whole term of extended adolescence or infantilization.
Well, even
Because
adolescence as a concept was not a concept before the modern education system. I mean, maybe
right.
in like a medical terminology, like there's a physiological development phase you would call adolescent, but the idea of teenagers as we conceive of it, or young adults, it wasn't like that. It was like, you're a child, you're a man, you know, and
Right.
that's it.
Yeah.
And what you're talking about too, like people should be aware the Prussian education system was developed specifically because they were noticing that their soldiers in hopeless battles or wars had a tendency to just leave and go home. And they needed to stop that. They needed to make sure that they would listen to the orders, even if that meant going to their death. And so they created this public education system under the guise of it being some sort of public good or public service. By the way, you ever hear public good, public health, public service? You know immediately that this is a bad, whatever that is a bad thing, or is going to be.
It's the same thing with global.
Global too.
Whenever
Yeah.
I hear the word whenever I hear global, I'm like, I'm checking out. Like, no,
Another,
this isn't for me.
And it does come down to critical thinking. It's exactly like what I was saying with nature left to its own devices will grow and thrive if it is not actively
Definitely.
blocked from doing so. And critical thinking
Definitely.
is the faculty in human beings that invites growth on the mental plane and many other areas of life that follow on from that. And speaking from personal experience too, there's the newest attack, and I'm not like an AI hater. I'm not telling people they shouldn't use it, but for a lot of folks, AI right now is totally tanking their critical thinking skills, the way that it's being used.
Yeah.
So you got to be careful about even how you implement that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just going to pick you up. You just somehow got into my room. You can sit. You can be on the podcast for a little bit till your
The
mom comes and gets
celebrity
you.
has arrived.
This is my daughter. She's
Oh,
real.
what a cutie.
Hey, Gracie. Hopefully her mom will
Yeah.
come get her soon. She's on the show, Jen. She's in the member section.
She's like, Daddy's lap is the best.
Well, my office is like high value real estate for her because it's usually unavailable.
I see. Yeah.
Yeah, exciting.
And
But
she hears you talking so much and your voice, calls her.
my door doesn't latch unless you pull it up properly. It's kind of like a little off center. So if it hasn't been
Mhm.
closed latched wise, she can just now barge
Mhm.
it, push it open. And she just did. She runs in and yells, "Hi."
That's awesome.
So cute. So cute. Yeah, where
That
were we? What threads are left dangling for you, man?
when it comes to like the extended adolescence or the what is it called? Infantilization. So you were bringing up AI. And AI, what I'm seeing with people with AI, and this is what I try in like my network of people. I was like, AI is really good for creativity, but it's like any other source, you need to vet it. Don't externalize authority. Don't make it an authority. Like it's just a large learning language program. Like that's what it is. So it's taking it's
Don't use it
taking
in the sense of tell me what to do or tell me how to do.
right because
That's a big danger.
it yeah, it's not an expert. Because like this is the thing is the
Well, it rewires your brain to like need more authority if you're
well, it's
using it
just
as like tell me
I
how to
mean
do, tell me what to
it,
do.
yeah, the externalization of authority or the externalization out there. The thing that I find kind of insidious, and I think we talked about this last time we did a live together, was like we know that the AI was programmed with the Eliza effect. And that's just marketing 101, where it's a sandwich technique where the bread is compliments and then the meat of it is what's being transferred. And so many people like really need to be complimented. They need reassurance. In the program, it they misattribute the fact that, oh, this thing's complimenting me. It's a thing. It's not. It's literally just the program that they put into it. So for me, like I use DeepSeek and I've trained DeepSeek not to compliment me at all. So it doesn't like tell me I'm asking a good question or anything like that. And I'm constantly teaching DeepSeek that it's like wrong, it's incorrect. Like the information, like, because what it will do, it'll be reading different references, and those references will not overlap. Like it doesn't ever do a lateral move. And so I'm in for my it's actually I'm using it to better the way I can actually communicate because I can see how it's missing the mark. I can see how it gets in a track and like I'll let it know about the other track over here and it won't acknowledge that track until I put it in a corner. So in a very neat way, it's teaching me how to be like a debate champion.
I haven't tried that one out, but where I do find it useful is almost in like index work.
Yeah,
Where
definitely.
cross-referencing index work, but there's a slippery slope for how much you ask it to do that's replacing your own thought processes that ends up rewiring your brain. It's like a bad nutrition.
Yeah.
It's definitely something I noticed an effect on in myself, and I've had to be more diligent about how I use it. I'm not saying not to use it, but it's a very strong effect that it eventually has on your thinking skills if you make it think for you too much.
Yeah.
Also, it's just getting, I think we're all seeing how much, once we've used the models, how much text copy on social media and on the internet is not
Yes.
human anymore.
Right.
But yeah, not to just totally bash on it. It's got its uses. But
I,
I'm
I
pulling
like
back.
I
I'm
like
pulling back this year.
I like looking at the terminology that the mainstream is using in its descriptor sets for it. And so
Like what?
hallucination. A
Yeah.
hallucination implies that there is a consciousness there that can hallucinate. And no, like that's not what's occurring, guys. It's aggregating bad data and intentionally through the algorithm trying to tell you what it is that you want to hear. That is not a hallucination. That is programming. So they're attributing, and I could see this too because like as a family, we are usually watching like PG movies together. And my daughter, she wants to see action. So like we watch sci-fi. So we're watching
I know
like
she's a big Godzilla fan, right?
loves Godzilla and also like we were watching the Andor, the Star Wars series, which was actually really well done. But like the priming of the pump forever is like what made the different droids enjoyable in those shows. Like the droid, when it was just acting as a droid, was nothing. It was a throwaway. But when the droid acted like a human, it was actually endearing and you rooted for it like it was a character, like it had a soul, right? So it's been very well known. I mean, the cyberneticists that were writing about this stuff in the 30s and 40s knew for cybernetics to take off, which is when AI is like an offshoot of cybernetics. It's, large language models are just, systems compression. So that's cybernetics. Like the whole cybernetic aspect of things is like they've always known that it will be able to be fully implemented when it appears human. And so you could just see all the priming of the pump with all the language, like, your field is like they describe it like it's human and it's not.
Well, let me give you another little philology. You've probably heard this one before, but the word cyber, whenever you just letter swap very basic and common alphabet switches,
Mm-hmm.
the third letter of the Greek alphabet is gamma, which is G, but our alphabet is C, right? And in the
Mm-hmm.
geometry of your mouth, G and K are almost the exact same
Mm-hmm.
geometry. So C and G, highly interchangeable. Then you have the B is interchangeable with V, which happens in like Hebrew very commonly. The B and V are totally switchable. And again,
Right.
the geometry of your mouth is very close.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So cyber is actually etymological roots wise comes from the same word as gover. Like both refer to steering. So
Yeah.
when we're talking about cybernetics, it's just the next form of governetics. It's the
That
same
makes a
word,
lot of
govern and
sense.
cyber.
And as you were doing those little flips, what it made me think of was the Gibberim in the Bible. It's very close to that word because
Cyberim.
the Cyberim. And for those of you that are unaware, that the Gibberim, they were like the men of renown. Those were the beings that ran shit. Like, so it's very
Well,
similar.
think
That's
gibber in that sense. If you just throw one more letter swap in and swap the R for a L, which is another super common one, Godzilla.
Gajira.
Gibber becomes civil. It's the
Yeah,
civil,
that's
right? And that's
so true.
civilization, gibberization. Yeah,
Yeah,
so this is the kind of stuff I would like to bring to the. I need to take notes. Those are good
yeah.
examples because I
No,
have
that's
all
awesome.
that in my head, but like the specific examples that just come up when they come up in speech. So I need to start
Mhm.
tracking this stuff. But yeah, I think that's what I would. I think that's my strength for unique pull to the elementals. That'd be fun.
Yeah, and your strength also too is like you represent, like, from an energetic perspective, you have like this really nice balance of the elements. Like you're like tridoshically balanced. So like that's why I saw you as the MC, is because there's a bunch of people that are going to be there that ruffle people's feathers. And like, you, because you are a balanced, fully embodied man, like you'll be able to handle and like be able to like read the room, because what makes a good host is they need to be able to read the room. And
It's
you've been
the
honing.
it's the moon in Libra moon. Like I've just totally I am aware of the vibe.
Yeah, yeah.
And I have
Well,
diplomacy. I have diplomacy, but
definitely.
yeah, that's true about me. It's true. Just see how I
Yeah, that's
handle
awesome.
see
I
how I
love
handle
hearing that.
angry emails. Cool.
Right?
Yeah.
It's amazing how much anger certain people harbor.
Uh well, when you have the pedestal in their mind, you become the, symbol of
Oh,
all
that's true.
things, you know? That doesn't happen to me
That's
very
true.
often, but sometimes. But I pride myself on being able to turn it around. Even when it comes at me all guns blazing, I can turn it around with like a paragraph.
Yeah,
That's part of and parcel of the power of eloquence.
definitely.
It's real.
No, eloquence is the sharpest sword, man.
I mean,
And
what's more powerful than turning someone who perceives you as an enemy into somebody who perceives you as a beneficiary?
right,
It's hugely
right, and
powerful.
that
I
goes
mean,
that
that's
goes
as
all the
efficient
way.
as it gets. You don't have to fight anybody.
And that's why they had to get rid of eloquence. That's why they had to get rid of the Southern gentry. Because the Southern gentry, they would do that all the time. They would turn the entire favor towards them, like all the time.
Well, we ought to bring it back.
I do. Like
Whenever in the
I
right
mean,
room of people, I do get a little southern drawl come creeping in. It can happen. I'm from Missouri. I'm born here.
Missouri is almost the South. It's almost.
Uh, Depends on the part of Missouri. It's a very mixed
Yes,
bag. But
yes.
this feels like a pretty natural point to start hanging it up, man. This has been fun.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I'm glad that we got to reconnect.
Yeah, and maybe I can come out next weekend and enjoy
Yeah,
at least observing, if not participating in some sketch comedy. That sounds great. In school, I was on the improv comedy duet team.
I did not know this.
Yep,
I did not know that. Well,
we did
come
pretty
on,
good.
man.
I have
It'll be
medals.
a good time.
Junior high. My wife's laughing in the other room.
That's hilarious. Yeah.
Okay, well, thanks for hanging, guys, and appreciate all the supporters on this side of the paywall. And I think if you're not enticed to come to the Elementals gathering, we'll keep working on you. We got a few months. It's going to be a blast.
Yeah. No, it's gonna be great. We're gonna have really good music. Marty Leeds, Jorge Mesa, Owen Benjamin,
You call him
Matt.
Jorge. I like to call him Yorgo. You go with the
Yo,
Mexican. I go with the Greek.
well, I'm trying to find the Polynesian way of saying his name. Since we figured out, like you're into Greek, and we've pretty much figured out that all the Polynesians are a mixture of Greek and Colombians.
Well, no
So that,
offense, but Spanish is mostly just devolved Greek.
oh, really?
I
Makes
mean,
sense to
it is
me.
technically it's a Latin-based Romance language, but a lot of the variants in Spanish is Greek rooted. So,
Uh,
yeah, in my
well, that makes
opinion.
sense to me. Let's get rid of Spanish. I'm with you. So,
Okay.
so for you guys out there, the it's elementalsgathering.com to buy tickets. Our first round is sold out. So we're in the early bird special now, which is awesome. It's May 8th through the 10th. It's
You
in
had to put it on
Mountain.
my mom's birthday.
Haha, mom. Haha. Uh, so buy Chance's mom a ticket so she can come out and have some fun. We have
She has to babysit her dogs.
okay.
Yeah.
We're going to have really good food, really good music. We have excellent vendors coming out, and it's just an awesome hang. If you've never been to a festival where there's no drinking at all, and like where it's like a good family atmosphere, that's what we're harboring there. It's very similar to, the Barataria festival, where there's no drinking on site, there's no drugs, none of that's allowed. We
Yeah,
don't
and what's
have any.
amazing about that is the consciousness shift that most people do a drug of some kind at an event like that to try to achieve, the social lubricant. The consciousness
Right.
shift happens innately and more cleanly due to the innate, like, coherent resonance of all the people together.
Yes.
Like, to the point
Yeah,
where you feel it when you cross a certain threshold of the bubble on the land.
definitely.
Like, you totally feel it.
Yeah. So it's at a lovely time of year. If you've never been to Missouri, it's like really beautiful that time of year. We're gonna have, like, for kids, if you bring your kids, we have a beautiful playground there. We have the tent space where all the main speakers are gonna be. We have 4 workshops that are gonna be going on. I'm gonna be having a biochar workshop. Kyle Denton is gonna do a wild crafting workshop where he takes people around. Chris Winters of the Fertile Current, he's going to be doing a field broadcasting, like, electroculture workshop. And then Mr. Permy Bear is going to be showing us, he's going to have a workshop with seeds. So we have 4 workshops that are there. And then, just to reiterate, like, our lineup is a banger of a lineup. I mean, to have Marty Leeds, Tom
Especially for
Barnett.
Innerverse fans. Like,
Yeah. It's like
a lot of these
literally like,
people are on my show.
yeah, in my show too, like our shows have a lot of, repeat customers.
Well, we've created
But
our
like,
own subculture
yeah,
or real culture.
and that's the thing too, is like, as a builder, I build reciprocal roofs, and that's sort of what we're all doing on each other. If you've never seen a reciprocal roof, all the members that hold the roof in place, they all lean on the previous one. And all of us are doing that in this. Like, we're all these, people that have our own specificity and expertise, but we're all kind of leaning on each other in a very beneficial way. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Like, the side conversations, I know it's going to be one of those things that really, like, changes the milieu. Like, it's like, just tuning into the energetics of it, it's gonna is quite amazing.
There will be milieu at this event. Will you
Yes.
be there in the milieu?
The milieu.
All right. Well, let's hang it up. I love you, buddy. This has been great. Appreciate
Love you too,
the
Chance.
hang. Always good. Anytime you want to talk, I'm in. Anytime you
All
want to
right, my
collab.
man.
All right. Peace.
Sounds good.